This might be a slightly controversial opinion here, and I'm very happy to be proven wrong in this. But I would say that the best ads on Facebook and Instagram don't look like ads at all. And the reason is because people aren't going on these platforms to see ads. They're there to get updates from their friends and family and see what their exes are up to. And if they're anything like me, they also kind of want cute animal videos thrown somewhere in that mix. But we really want to get people to love our ads as much as they love our organic content. And how can we do that? Well, that's exactly what this lesson is going to be all about. We're going to go through the do's and the don'ts of your ad creation process and how to incorporate that knowledge into your wider strategy, not only just to get more bang for your buck in terms of your advertising spend, but also to make sure that your ad account remains in really good standing and is not getting flagged by Facebook for any breaches. So let's begin by first talking about what goes into creating a really good ad and the do's before we then jump into the don'ts and the sometimes costly mistakes that you want to avoid. So, when it comes to creating a great ad, of course, we want it to be really aligned with the offer and for it to be nice to look at and all of that good stuff. But really, the most powerful ads out there are the ones that showcase some sort of transformation and get really into the head of their audience in terms of how your offer solves their pain points. So, here are just a couple of examples of ads that have done this really well. And the reason that these work really well is because they get your attention by showing you the before state, by displaying what your current pain points are, and then the copy and the images and all of that that goes into creating a great ad then tell you how this brand is going to solve all your problems for you. So let's talk about the recipe for creating this kind of awesome ad that make people feel and also most importantly actually take action on what you want them to take action on. So the anatomy of a great ad is kind of as follows. So the first is a hook based on some sort of transformation. Then the copy of the ad and the headline and all of that stuff goes into articulating that transformation. And then you have a visual element to communicate what that transformation is going to look like. And I am going to be very clear here and say that not every ad can be a great ad. There's a lot of room out there for mediocre ads or just ads that are maybe educational and are just showing off a demo of your product or your service, but don't necessarily showcase a transformation. But if you can incorporate at least one of these kinds of ads into your overall strategy, I promise you that you will see improvement in your conversion rates. In my opinion, in service based ad campaigns, this type of ad works best at that commit or close stage, not at that connect stage, because we are more looking for educational, informational, entertaining ads at that connect stage. But these work really, really well once you get a little bit further into your relationship with your audience. But definitely test that out for yourself. And let's now take a look at a couple more examples of how brands out there are leveraging this strategy and how you can incorporate some of these tips into your own strategy. So the first example is from Who Gives a Crap, who have toilet paper that's sustainable and eco-friendly, and it's sort of communicating this transformation of, currently you're using toilet paper that's not really doing great things for the planet, but did you know that you actually can use toilet paper that is going to make the world a better place? And it's as easy as wiping your bum, right? So it's super, super simple. This is a product based ad, so it's not what we're focusing on here in particular, but I just wanted to give you an example of just how easy it can be with an ad like this one to really communicate that transformation through a simple video like this. Next, we have this ad from Monday.com. So the hook here is, you're stressed and disorganized and you don't really know what's going on in your business. And the transformation that Monday.com can provide you with is that everything's going to be flowing smoothly. All the projects are going to be on time, and you're going to have really clear visibility as to what's happening at every stage of the project with all the different people who are involved with it. So that's communicated really clearly through their visual element here, which is the video itself. But then the copy around it is more focused on other hooks that they might have determined within their business, which is more about additional benefits to users rather than reducing that stress, which is what that creative element is more focused on. But they're touching on a few different hooks with this ad, which is really, really a great example of how you can go about this, all the way down to the thumbnail that they chose, which has the text, it was a nightmare on the thumbnail. So it makes you want to click through and find out what was the nightmare and how does that relate to me. Finally, this is one from Kat Howell, who runs a digital marketing agency. And the reason I like this example is because this is very clearly an ad that somebody would see at that close stage of their buyer's journey and of their Facebook ad sequence when they already know who Kat Howell is, who her agency is. Maybe they've attended a training or they've read some blog posts. And this is more just about getting them to sign up for working with her team and this program. So it's very kind of unpolished, but very relatable as a result of that. And again, that thumbnail that they've chosen to use for this video is go from I'm exhausted to I'm finally free, which is super captivating and it makes me want to really click through. And then the text around it is all about the benefits of jumping into this academy, what you have stand to gain. And then the actual call to action at the bottom is, go ahead and schedule your strategy call now. It's very clear as to what the next step is that I should be doing in order to achieve this transformation that they're communicating to me through this ad. So as you're thinking about your different hooks, and there may be more than one, just think about what your before and after transformation is that you're providing to your audience. How does their life change after they work with you or buy from you? And what's the best way you can communicate that through your copy and your creative? Are you able to get past customers to shoot you a quick video to use for these ads? Or are you maybe able to use past testimonials in the copy that you're providing around the ad? Are you able to kind of touch on those transformational elements in creating your ad? But really, the important thing to note here is that when you're creating these ads, just really think of them and it makes people feel like it's just an organic post that they're coming across. They may not even really notice that it's an ad, and that's a good thing. And let's now talk about what's often not done super well when it comes to ads. Remember what we talked about in an earlier lesson. People want to feel like you get them, but you're not targeting them specifically. And the more intimate that the information that you're sharing through your ads, for example, data on sex, health, and finances, these are especially sensitive topics, the less comfortable that people will be with other people knowing this about them. So, what this means is that you can't say things like, earn an extra $1,000 a month. That's a no go. But you can say, see how our customers are currently building really profitable businesses that are bringing them an extra $1,000 a month. And you also can't say things like, lose the fat. But you can say, hey, feel amazing with just an extra 10 minutes a day with this workout. So, it's almost reframing it as a negative thing to a really positive thing, and maybe talking more about your existing customers or your existing results rather than you will have these results. These are guaranteed results you will have if you go through this program, because you absolutely can't guarantee that. So think about it from the perspective of the previous ad that we looked at. It's not saying you stink, it's saying lose the stink and deodorant for pits and private parts. There's no mention of the word you or your in there. So it's not actually targeting people saying you're a stinky person and you need to use this deodorant. It's just sort of saying, hey, this is a deodorant for stinky people. You may or may not be one of them, but it's not actually mentioning anything to do with the audience themselves. And this is a really good principle to follow. The more that you can limit the use of the words you and your, the better your conversion rates will be, because once again, you're making this a better and more fun experience for Facebook and Instagram users, because you're not targeting them specifically. You're just kind of relaying information that you think they might want to know about. So I've provided a list of words to really limit in your ad copy inside of your class guide. So make sure to check that out there. You absolutely will see lots of people using words like you and your and free and all of these kind of words in the copy. It's not against the rules, but if you can limit it, it just means that Facebook will push your ads out to more people. So it's going to be cheaper for you to get more eyeballs on your content. And when in doubt, always go for ads with the angle of hope and optimism and what people have to stand to gain rather than negative angles and any sort of scare tactics. Because generally speaking, Facebook is trying to make the platform a really hopeful, optimistic place with a happy vibe rather than, reminding people of all the things that they don't have in their life or all the things that they're really worried about. The other thing that I've also provided inside of your class guide is this article on how to use ad relevance diagnostics, which is really handy because you can actually check how your ads are tracking in terms of where Facebook is ranking them in quality ranking, engagement ranking, and conversion rate ranking. And it will give you some recommendations on what to try based on the rankings that are appearing inside of your ads manager. So this is not foolproof, and sometimes you'll actually notice that you have really terrible rankings on, let's say, quality and engagement, but your conversion rates are great, in which case, who cares what the other ones are like or what Facebook thinks? As long as you're getting the results that you want, then great. But if you're not getting the results that you want, you may want to jump into the relevance diagnostics of your ads inside of Ads Manager and check out what it's telling you. If it's telling you everything is average or above average, then you're all good, amazing, you're probably already getting the results that you want. But then let's say, quality and engagement are above average, but your conversion rate is actually below average. It'll tell you what's actually causing it and what you can actually do to rectify this. So this is really, really handy because it's as close as you'll get to someone from Facebook basically saying, here's why your ads are not performing. So make sure to check that out inside of your class guide.